Joy 99.7 FM. Time for Drive Time with Insurance. And this afternoon, I'm taking you over to the StarLife Assurance Company Limited. And we get to understand funeral insurance and its benefits. My brother Emmanuel Frimpong Appiah is the head of customer service and e-business at StarLife Assurance Company Limited, and he's going to tell us more about it. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Oh, good.
Afternoon.
Charlie, they tell me there's some beach parties on there, but never mind. It's okay. So I will remind you, say beach party day, whether you like it or not.
It's amazing. It's amazing. What trouble people can put you through.
I know, right? Yeah. Anyway, really good to have you. Thank you so much for coming by. And Kwachi is also here with us too. Talk about funeral insurance policy. I actually heard a little bit about it a few years back when we had the scholarship show here on Joy FM, and the competition had the contestants selling a funeral policy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
nice.
You're supposed to approach people to sell a funeral policy, and you can imagine what they were saying. Charlie, if you die, you die.
Don't be scary.
It's just like that. You know, oftentimes we think about funeral insurance and we think it's all about life insurance. Now, clearly, until death do you and your close relations part, access to funeral insurance benefits is nil. Let's understand it. How different is funeral insurance from life insurance?
Yeah, they're quite different, but similar as well. Because life insurance is the broader picture. Life insurance deals with the insurance of all persons.
Okay.
So, if anybody who wants to cover their lives or is concerned about their life, that is, in actual fact, their death, they are considering life insurance. So, that is on the general side.
Okay.
But funeral insurance is more specific. Funeral insurance tackles funerals if you should pass on. Organizing your funerals if you should pass on. Because there are other life insurance policies which will give you investment benefits, investment-linked products. You have life policies that even cover loans and special people like key men in organizations like yourself. So the Joy FM can decide this gentleman is key. If we should lose him, we would need at least $2 million to raise someone similar to him with this silky voice. So then they take an insurance policy, that's a key man policy, to cover you. So that when you're gone, we pay that sum and then they benefit.
Say it louder so my boss can
Something like that, you know.
Okay.
So funeral insurance is very specific. It's talking about funerals when you pass on.
Okay. Yeah. Now, why must I do funeral insurance for myself first? And when a member of my family touch wood passes, I claim only a certain percentage of the full amount as agreed on from inception.
Well, fact is that no man can be more interested in another man's life than in their own. So you can't say you're so interested in either your wife's life or your parents' lives that you don't care about yours. In fact, the Bible actually says that love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. So you place yourself at least at par with all other people whom you profess to love. So if having had that in mind, it means that if you're doing an insurance policy, whoever you are attempting to cover, you must have some interest in them. The interest, how be it financial, is what we are covering, right? So if that person passes on, what do you stand to lose? You stand to spend lots of money. We can't pay for the grief, but at least we can cushion you on the money side of things. So that loss, which is directly related to you, is the reason why you are only allowed to take insurance policies covering yourself as well before you cover others. However, insurance has grown over the years. The major reason for that rule was the fact of moral hazard. That somebody can go and take a policy and cover Lexus. I don't know you. I go to StarLife and I take a policy to cover you. When I hear you've passed on, I go to StarLife and I go and collect. Or, to make matters worse, they could even get a contract killer to get you to go quickly.
So they go and collect the money.
Perfect. But with insurable interest, it ensures that I'm linked to you, either by blood or financially. So that if you're gone, I mean, your death will not make me happy in any way. Your death will not make me happy in any way.
Okay.
But so basically, that protects.
But there could be still family relations who still want you to go.
That's a big problem. So that's the reason that caveat is there. So that at least to a large extent, we protect and prevent people from doing such mischief. Secondly, in the absence of moral hazard nowadays, you are allowed to cover others without covering yourself.
Okay.
When you are able to prove relationship, you say, oh, this is my father, and this is your proof. So the insurer will allow you to cover that person, leaving you out.
Okay. Yeah. I get it. Now, I know that payment of funeral insurance premiums are for life. Technically.
Well, yes.
Why you don't agree? Okay.
Let's go on.
My question really is that how can my benefits be assessed in the possible event that nobody in the list of family members insured dies after like so many years of contribution?
Yeah.
I've been contributing, they are refusing to die.
Well,
then it means I'll keep contributing.
That is both a joy and sometimes a worry that you're paying so much premiums. But to answer your first question first, to be very frank, now you don't have to pay funeral insurance premiums forever.
Okay.
There are policies, because I'm speaking for the GIA, there are policies that allow you to pay the premium for a specific period, say 10 years or 15 years. Once the premium payment is done, you just sit home and wait for whatever event you have covered to occur. When the event occurs, whether it's a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 years after you stop paying the premium, because the insurer promised that you were supposed to pay premium for just 10 years, they will still honor their obligation by paying your claim.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
that helps.
That is one point. We have moved from having to pay life insurance premiums forever or all through your life, because it doesn't really make sense. People retire at 60. At age 60, do you still want me to pay insurance premiums? It's going to be very difficult. My money should just be used to cater for the house and a few of my medical bills. And if I have some pension babies who are still in school, maybe I sort them out a little. So it's smart that now we insurers have decided that we make room for you to finish paying your premiums quickly. Then you just sit home and wait for something.
Oh, I see. So
then there's the other bit where insurers give you a waiver of premium.
Okay.
So, for example, whether you are alive or dead, they offer this waiver of premium. What can happen is that you take the policy, and then if you pass on first, the policy holder, they decide that, okay, we're waiving the premium. And it's part of the conditions.
Okay.
So if you pass on, they waive their right to collect premiums from the policy, and yet the policy still remains active.
Okay.
Until all other people who are covered have passed on or have died and have claimed on the policy still remains. Yeah. So funeral insurance has progressed. We've gone way past what many people knew in the past.
That's really good.
Very impressive.
And you spell all these out to the clients, because I didn't know all these things.
Yeah,
I didn't know all these conditions were in there.
It's true. Most people don't read policy conditions. I mean, who buys a car and sits down for hours to read the manual? Nobody does that. And in fact, even if you open a bank account, there are rules governing your account, right?
Yeah.
In fact, nobody actually gives you those terms and conditions. But in insurance, we actually give you the document.
And we go and put it at home.
Exactly. Nobody checks it. Nobody reads it. And then they blame us when something happens. But ideally,
but you people to the font is too small.
For and ours, you have a copy here. Ours is big. You can read it from a distance. You can read it from a distance.
You see that thing, and then you are discouraged. Okay, but at least now we'll start looking at all these.
Look at this one.
Oh, that's yours.
Very big.
Let me have a look.
From afar, you can read it.
Okay,
exactly.
And it's not child like that.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Very few pages, and you are done.
Yeah. This is quite simple. Oh, that's really cool. So tell me, what are some of the benefits of taking a funeral insurance policy on yourself before taking for other relations?
Well, as I said earlier, you can't be more interested in another person's life than in yourself. So, having said that, you as a person, the reason you're taking the insurance policy is so that when your parents or in-laws or whoever you're covering, your spouse, when they pass on, you're not saddled with the cost of funeral expenses. So at least you get some 30,000, 50,000 to sort out the funeral.
Depending on your premium.
Depending on your premium, exactly. Now, why would you then want your parents, if you die before them, to be saddled with that cost? So if you did that, you did not cover yourself, you covered your parents only. What you're actually saying is that if I die, however they will manage my funeral is their own cup of tea. But if they die while I am alive, I'm willing. I can take a life insurance policy to cater for them.
Okay.
But we're saying that there is room for you also to cover yourself. And fortunately, the insurance premiums for the principal, that is the one taking the policy, is usually way cheaper than the secondary insureds.
Oh, okay.
Firstly, due to their age, because you're usually younger. If you're covering your parents and stuff, you are younger. So your premiums are cheaper than the ones you are covering. So why eliminate yourself from cover? It's always best to keep yourself covered as well. Because the young are passing away. A young gentleman at the gym I used to attend, very strong gentleman, very tall. One day celebrating his birthday, he goes on a journey with his friends and he does not return. Young man, very strong.
Yeah.
And we're all scratching our heads. How did this happen? You know, nobody knows what to take you away. So it's best to be prepared.
Okay.
At every time.
Well, talk of preparation. Do I take it from your submissions that funeral insurance policies are just like preparing for your death or the death of your loved ones?
Yes, but a little bit more. Yes, but a little bit more.
What's more? Me where we a little bit more.
But you see, you see,
I'm already dead.
Yeah. What makes it better is that it's rather in anticipation.
Okay.
Because death is a certainty. There's a little bit of certainty to death.
Ayo.
We know we're going to go. It's just the when we're not sure of.
Now you're freaking me out.
You know, so it's very important that you prepare. Very, very important.
Alison Cruz says, look, everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. And that's true. So what advice do you have for people who think they do not want to be reminded of death by being advised to purchase funeral insurance policies?
Oh, well, try not to remind yourself of death. It's just like saying, ignoring the obvious. It's there. Death is always staring us in the face. As you're driving on the road, death is staring you in the face. When you go to sleep, it's staring you. Even when you're eating, you could easily have food poisoning. Where the lady in the office yesterday, all day, this morning, she's been hospitalized. She has running stomach. Nobody knows, you know. So death is always staring. And whether you prepare for it or not, it will come. Nobody dies because they decided to prepare for it. And was it not Benjamin Franklin who said, failing to plan is actually planning to fail? So whether you are planning or not, you are actually planning.
Yeah.
So in fact, doing nothing in itself is a plan.
It's a plan, just true.
So
amazing. Well, I think now I'm convinced that everybody needs a funeral insurance policy, and we can get that from StarLife Assurance Company, can't we?
Perfect.
Tell me a little bit more about StarLife.
Perfect. StarLife is an indigenous insurance company, wholly Ghanaian owned. Star Assurance, if you know, is our sister company. We're 14 years as a single company, but as a composite, we're about 35 years.
Wow.
So we've been running these life policies for about 35 years, close to 35 years.
Awesome.
That shows you the wealth of experience we bring to what we're doing. We have several policies, very beautiful policies. One of them is what we've just been talking about, the home call policy.
Home call policy.
Our policy is called the home call policy.
Okay.
The home call policy gives you beautiful sum assureds up to the range of about 30,000 to cover, say, your mother or your father. But for special people who say, oh, I want 100,000, all you need is to call us. We will come, calculate it for you, and tell you exactly how much you're supposed to pay.
Okay.
Exactly. So
good stuff. When I heard the name of your policy, I'm just thinking that somebody could come out with another policy. What a shock policy!
What a shock! Yeah. We have other policies though, because somebody may think, oh, all they do is funeral policy. We don't. We have the Wealth Master as well.
Yeah.
We have the Child Education Policy.
Okay.
There's the Family Protection. Then there's the Ultimate Protection. We have policies to cover your loans and your mortgages.
Okay.
And we also underwrite for several banks in the industry.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Frimpong Appiah is Head of Customer Service and E-Business at StarLife Assurance. Thank you so much, my brother. Great spending time with you.
Phone number.
Yes.
If anybody wants to call.
Yeah, what's the number again?
Yeah, so you can call if you want to reach us 05013000006, 05013000009, or 05013000018.
That's StarLife Assurance Company Limited here on Drive Time with Insurance. I'm Lexus Bill. It's been great spending time with Emmanuel from Appiah, and I'll come by to get my funeral insurance policy at StarLife Assurance. You should also do the same.
Sign in before we go.
And if you have any more issues, you'd want clarity on some of the issues we've talked about here on our insurance, Drive Time with Insurance, you can actually call the GIA, the Ghana Insurance Association Complaints Management and Advice Bureau on 0800 44 2000. So call them and you'd find out more. Insurance companies, claims payment, our business. I'm Lexus Bill. This song came to mind, Milli Vanilli, When I Die. Yeah, on Joy 99.7 FM. Stay tuned in.
Joy 99.